Well, now that we had all the chocolate and cupcakes and cake and candy and treats and all that's over, how do you feel? How do you feel? Because I, for one, had a lot of Reese's. That's pretty much the only chocolate I like, and the only chocolate I'll ever eat, because if you give me a box of Reese's, I'll be on your side. Like this, for instance. Like, if you were in a disagreement with people, and they were like trying to see what side I had, and I was like indecisive, and I was just neutral for the entire time, and they're like, oh, here, then have this, and they're gonna bribe me with some Reese's, I'll be on your side. I love Reese's. So how you guys doing? I'm Fire, and today I got a little bit of a Battlefield 3 sniper gameplay for you with the SV98, which is my favorite sniper in the entire game. I know it's one of those guns that not a lot of people like, only because it's not that good. It doesn't have a lot of damage, it has a lot of drop off, and it's very tricky to use, but it's an amazing gun to use at close quarters because of its hip firing being so good. And it's just, I don't know why, but I just really find it a lot of fun to use, despite it having all these disadvantages. Because I pretty much do a lot of close quarters to medium sniping. I don't like being in the back, which is why I don't use the, for instance, the M98B. I like to use the SV98, the JNG 90. Every now and then I go back to the M40 A5, and because that gun's actually really good at close quarters as well. But I like the close quarters and medium range sniping. That's what I like to do. Well, the discussion I was want to ask you about today was Battlefield 4 sniping. Do you think that they should change it? Do you think it's balanced in BF3? Do you think it's fair? Because there's a lot of talk and hate for the recon class for Battlefield. There are a lot of forums on the battle log that I've seen. There's a lot of commentaries, and pretty much everybody hates the recon class, and yet there are a lot of people that know how to use it. But for the most part, there are also a lot of new people that are joining, and they don't exactly know how to even play as the recon. And you don't have to have a sniper to be a recon. You can just have a shotgun, you can have a PDW, or you can pick up someone else's kit, but you don't have to have a sniper. And that's one of the things that people like just don't understand every now and then, is that you're being a reconnaissance. You're not always going to be a sniper. You can just get right behind people, put your tugs or mav or whatever you need down, and boom, you got yourself a really good player. Now, going back to the Battlefield 4 talk, there are some things I would love to see changed for the recon class, because I love the recon class, and I'm one of those people that love playing it. And that's pretty much the only class I pretty much use for about like 90% of my gameplay that I've ever played in BF3. So what I was thinking was, back when BF3 was just being talked about, and you saw some videos on YouTube for the alpha version and seeing how it looked, and I have to say that it looked awesome on that sniper gameplay. I'll put the link in the description for you if you haven't seen some of the alpha version gameplay of the sniper, because it looked a lot better than it is right now in the final game. And I'm not just talking about how it looked better than the consoles. I'm saying it looked better than everything, like the final game. It doesn't matter if you're on console or on PC, because back when it was in the alpha version, you had so many cool things about it that made it look really good. Take for instance, it has this. I know it's just like one of those personal preference things that I like, but if you notice in this gameplay here on the scope, you'll see this little glare, like a little reflection that's looking at you. Depending on if you're in a lit area or in a dark area, it disappears. But if you're in the sunlight, you see this little glare that's looking straight at you. And I'm not talking about you as in like someone pointing at you, I mean you as in you. See the little scope pointing at you? Well, you see this little reflection, and that's really cool because it had this really nice looking reflection. And it wasn't just for the snipers, it was also for the ACOG scope, because even for I saw some other videos where they had the M16 A3 and it had the ACOG on it, and it had that reflection, which really looked really nice on it. So I'm hoping that's gonna in Battlefield 4. But what I was actually going for that was just a personal preference thing. But what I was thinking was, do you think that they should take away the reflection glare when you're aiming down sights, when you're using a high-powered scope? Because a lot of people really didn't like this, and also a lot of people love this reason. Now, the reason why people liked it was because in Bad Company 2, there were a lot of players that would only pick the sniper because of it being extremely good. and being really good, and people would just hide in bushes, and which is where the term bush Wookiees came from, and people would be in there. And this also goes with the one-hit kills from the waist up, pretty much, and I'll get into that in just a bit. But since a lot of people would do that, a lot of people would hide in far away distances and be able to pick off people without actually being seen. And in order to balance this, DICE decided to put this giant white flashlight glare in for the sniper when he's aiming down sights, and I think that they should change that. I'm not saying I don't like it, because I actually do kind of like it, because then it also gives me a chance to counter snipe knowing where they're like aiming from. But what I really don't like about it is that it has that glare no matter where you're at. That's one of my complaints about it, is that I don't mind the glare, and I'm a sniper. I love sniping, and I'm even tolerant of the glare. But what I don't like is that there's a glare everywhere you go. You can be in a dark area and still have a giant flashlight on there. Might as well put a flashlight on there, and at least get some of the benefits from it. And when you're in a close area, because when you're using a flashlight, they're not going to exactly see you perfectly, which will give you that split second to shoot at them first, if they're sniping, that is. If they're using any other gun, they'll just spray and pray you and hopefully get you, but that's not going to go with everybody. But for the most part, since you're going to have a giant glare, might as well have a flashlight on there and get some of the benefits in order to hide yourself from being sniped in the head by another sniper as well, because that's one of those countermeasures. You can also use the laser sight, but that's another topic. That's just a joke about the flashlight. If you want to do it, you can, but every now and then I like to troll people with it, having a flashlight in this kind of area, like a small close quarters map, and just put a sniper on it with an 8x scope, and there you go. And then people would be like, what the hell? So that's pretty much how it is. So anyway, that's what I think about the glare, because I have to agree, it is a very well balanced kind of mechanic in it for Battlefield, and I like it. I just wish that in dark areas you wouldn't see it, and it would be realistic with the lighting, and that's why I wish that you can actually take out lights in order to make a room dark if you wanted to, because that's what it was, or was said about Battlefield, was that they were going to make it to where you can shoot lights out. And the final game came out, you can't shoot every light out. In fact, you can't even shoot buildings all the time. The destruction in this game is very bad, so I'm really hoping they fix that. Now, the other topic that leads me to this is the one-shot kill for snipers. Do you believe that snipers should be a one-shot kill even if you shoot them in the chest? Now, I'm not talking about if they're like hurt already and then you shoot them in the chest and they're dead, because there are a lot of times when you can do that and you get that one-hit kill. But every now and then you don't, and especially now, like relating back to the SV98, it only does 80% damage when you shoot them in the chest. And that means it's not always going to be a one-shot kill. And even if you're going to shoot them like less than 10 meters right in front of you, there are times when it doesn't want to register it and you don't get that one-hit kill. And I'm not sure if it's just a console thing, because when I see it on PC, it doesn't really happen as much. But on consoles, I've noticed that even if you get that chest shot when someone's right in front of you, you'll still get only a hit marker, and the guy will pretty much kill you. But if you like switch your pistol really fast, you might actually have a chance to get that kill to follow up with the pistol kill, and which is what I do most of the time. But every now and then I do get that one-hit kill, even if he's at 100%, because no one was even shooting at him and I was the first to see him. So every now and then it happens, not every time. But do you think that it should go back to the one-hit kill? I, for one, being a sniper, I don't think it should. I really think that having that two-hit kill is actually well balanced. And now here's my reasons. Yes, it does like make the recon a little bit vulnerable against other players, but it also gives you a sense of, hey, I gotta think clear, I gotta think smart. If you're gonna go running around like in Bad Company 2, where the recon, or if you want to say the sniper, was never afraid to just run right into the action and then get themselves killed after getting maybe 1 or 2 kills. Because by doing that, a lot of people I've noticed when I was playing was they would just rush right into the battle, get a kill, and then get killed, and then get revived, and then get killed again. Because they want to just get as many kills as they want, and it doesn't matter on how many times they die, because they just know that they're going to get that really fast one-hit kill, Well, then switching to the M1911 and getting a few, like maybe 3 shots, and boom, he's dead really fast. Man, that thing was a cannon, and I loved it in Bad Company 2, which is why I use the M1911 in Battlefield 3 all the time. That's my favorite weapon, and it's actually my #1 weapon for my top 5 guns. I'm not saying it's #1 because of because I like it. #1 because I have the most kills with it. So, like I said, I really am okay with the whole 2 shots in the body, 1 shot in the head mechanic, because I actually think it will make people think smarter when playing as the Recon in Battlefield 3. And that's how they are. And when Battlefield 4 comes out, if they keep the 2 shots in the chest and then 1 in the head, then that's fine. The only thing I hope they change about the damage mechanic is that when you shoot somebody at extremely close quarters, like when they're directly right in front of you and you have to do a quick shot or a hip fire and you actually get them out of somehow reason, you should get that 1-hit kill because he's directly right in front of you. It would mean that even if you're at close quarters, you'll be able to protect yourself and not have to be the weak link, if you want to say, because not everybody is going to be a hardcore pro Recon player, and this is going for the general public and general people that like to play Recon every now and then, while also being the people that love playing Recon just as much as me. Another thing I was thinking when I was thinking about Battlefield was the suppression. Everything, a lot of people hate suppression, a lot of people love it. I, for one, am one of those people that absolutely hate it. And I'm not saying because I hate it because it's like a really bad mechanic, but I hate it because I don't like how it makes your gun completely inaccurate when you're shooting. And it's not just for snipers, it's for everybody, but it harms the bolt actions dramatically. Because you only get that 1 shot. When you're using a bolt action, you'll get that 1 shot, and if you try to shoot again, by the time you get ready for your next shot, you'll be getting hit. And your suppression, if the guy is extremely bad at shooting, you'll still be alive, and then you can take another shot and still miss because of suppression. I'm alright with the blurry of vision, the screen, and make everything like all dramatically blurred because of that. I'm fine with that. I just don't like the deviation of bullets, and that's one of my things I hope they change for Battlefield 4. And I know this isn't exactly goes, and this not only goes with just for a sniper, but for everybody. Everybody. It's not just snipers. So that's one of the things I hope they fix about that. The next thing I was thinking was, it's not that big of a deal, but one of the things I was thinking of, they should go back and take away the tunnel vision for snipers. Go back to how the sniper looked in the alpha version, because you saw everything around you when you were aiming down the sights. Now, it's not just the alpha, it was also the same thing in Bad Company 2 Vietnam pack. When you're using a sniper, it showed everything around it. There was no tunnel vision. And even if they change it to just like that, and then make it to where only the scope zooms in and everything else around you stays where it's at, so that way it's actually realistic, where you look through a scope and that little circle of the scope is the only thing that's zoomed in. A lot of people were talking about that, and when I'm thinking about it, it would bring a lot of realistic it would bring a lot of realism into it, because when you're aiming down a sight with a high power scope, only that part of the screen will be zoomed in while everything else is the same. And that will bring it to where you're going to be able to use peripheral vision and see what's around you, instead of everything going forward or having a tunnel vision where half the screen is gone. And I think it would make things a lot easier for everybody if you really think about it. So what do you guys think about this for the sniping in Battlefield 4? Do you think it should stay the same? Should it stay the same as it is in Battlefield 3, or should it be changed a little bit? Should the power of the sniper be increased? Should it be buffed? Do you think it's too powerful? Because I don't think it is even that powerful, because it's one of the lowest class. It's pretty much the underdog in all the other classes. Compared to everyone else, how all the equipment, all the stuff they have, the Recon doesn't really get that much. And even though they get the crossbow now, it really doesn't have that much of a heavy hitter when it comes to explosives, because it has a huge drop off for the explosive crossbow, for the explosive bolt for the crossbow. So it really doesn't have that much of an impact against armored vehicles, although it is pretty good at light armored vehicles such as the Humvee, Little Bird, but they're just not that big of an help for the recon. And taking away the C4 from Bad Company 2, it made the recon seem like an underdog, hateful class that everyone wants to just hate on all the time. So maybe giving them something to have an advantage over other classes as well, because they're supposed to be good at range kills and being able to get somewhere without being seen. So giving them some kind of boost, some kind of buff or something would make other players realize that the recon class doesn't need all that hate that it gets already. And a lot of people already hate the assault people, and that's another topic, but the recon is pretty good. For Battlefield 3, it's actually well balanced and really good. The only thing I don't like about it are just a few things that I said, but it can easily be fixed, and I'm really interested and excited to see how it's going to change in Battlefield 4 and seeing how much of a difference it's going to be, because after every game I've seen of Battlefield, sniping has changed a lot in these games. A lot of things changed, the mechanics changed, the damage changed, and just pretty much everything from tactical strategies to actual gameplay mechanics, it changed a lot over the years. And I'm really interested to see how DICE decides how to make sniping in Battlefield 4. So I hope you liked the video, and I would love to hear your opinions about this in the comments below. And make sure you leave a rating because it really does help me out, and I love to hear feedback from y'all. And if you're new to my channel, I have a lot of Battlefield videos to show you. I'm not only a Battlefield player, but I also like playing other games, so I have a little bit of everything. So have a great day, guys, and I'll see you on the battlefield. Peace.